Welcome back to Sussex EVs, and on today's programme, Nigel continues his chat with Tom Druitt from The Big Lemon.
Can you tell us about the funding model, how he actually got the money to start the company up and who's investing in it?
That's a really good question. We didn't have a lot of money. I think the first bus was bought with a combination of my savings and my mate Graham's savings, and we both put in a little bit of money to get us off the ground. We set up a community interest company because we wanted this business to be all about community. We didn't want to get bank loans and so on. We'd much rather borrow and give interest to people in the community and involve them really in decision making, and we've got about 300 shareholders and bondholders. If we can put that money back into the community, then that will help all the communities where we work.
So passengers have the opportunity to buy a share in their own means of transport?
Yeah. This bus here, there'll be, those two seats will belong to one person. This side panel belongs to somebody else.
Okay.
Every little helps. And we've had a lot of support from members of the community, and that's enabled us to invest in new electric buses.
Can you perhaps compare the differences between the running or maintenance costs of an electric bus versus the biodiesel ones you ran before?
Biodiesel fleet, which was the waste cooking oil, we had to invest quite heavily in those vehicles to keep them serviceable. The biodiesel was about the same price as diesel. There was a small discount on the kind of purchase price of it, but when you factored in a slight difference in energy density of the fuel, so vehicles were not quite as efficient running on biodiesel as they were on diesel. So those kind of things basically cancelled each other out, and we had quite high maintenance bills, but the actual cost of buying the bus wasn't a lot because they were quite old. And now we've got some very new electric buses that we've bought brand new. They are ridiculously expensive to buy, but once you've bought them, your operating costs are much cheaper. Obviously, the price of electricity is much lower than the price of fuel. There's far fewer working parts to go wrong. So the kinds of problems that we might have with electric buses are very different problems. Generally speaking, they are more reliable, but then occasionally when something does go wrong, if it goes wrong with the batteries, the motors, the software in between, that can be quite an expensive fix. That's not why we do electric. That wasn't why we did biodiesel. So although these things are important to track and plan for, the reason for going electric was to reduce emissions and lower our carbon footprint. The reason for using biodiesel was to use a waste product that would otherwise cause havoc in the sewers and cut our carbon footprint. Biodiesel became kind of unviable really in about 2017, simply because it was very, very hard to find, and the newer buses didn't work on it. It only works on quite old vehicles. The main thing I didn't want to do was go back to fossil fuels, because we've always been about sustainability and we've always tried to run the fleet in the least carbon intensive way.
So can you tell us a bit about the charging method, where you get the electricity from and how it actually works with charging the buses during the day?
We've got 128 solar panels. Their maximum output is 30 kilowatts. The buses are about 138 kilowatt hour batteries. We can charge the bus from the sunshine if it's a sunny day. Obviously, if it's a cloudy day, we can still charge. It just takes a bit longer. We also have a grid connection and a renewable tariff. And we've got enough in and around this workshop to charge 6 buses at the same time. Obviously, as we grew, we needed more power, and as more of our old kind of fleet was upgraded to electric, we found we didn't have enough power anymore and there was no more capacity on the site. We went next door and rented next door as well, simply to get extra electricity. And so we've got 4 chargers next door as well. Most of the buses charge overnight, but we've got capacity to fast charge them during the day as well. So obviously when they come in for lunch break or something, they go on the charger and they go back out in the afternoon.
What kind of feedback do you get from the passengers in your service, and how do they view it differently?
We had a lot of feedback that people like the Big Lemon service because it's a community service, because our drivers are friendly, happy, and because the buses run on electricity. They're quieter, smoother, more comfortable than a diesel bus, and they feel good about using a low carbon bus to get into town and back.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Sussex EV members or the wider community of people who watch our videos? Is there a closing message you'd like to give us?
I think the main message really is that, you know, this is a community business and we're still learning. We're trying new things. Some of them work, some of them don't work that well until we change it, fix it, move on. Innovation is one of our core values, and we've always tried to push the boundaries, test new technology, work on innovative ways to reduce our carbon footprint, improve the service. This is your bus company. We would love you to be involved, and we would love you to help us make it better.
Great. Tom, thank you very much for your time. It's been great.
Thank you.